Happy Saturday and welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Quite a program for you guys today. Quite a program. Good to see each and every one of you with us today. We would have it no other way, guys. We would have it no other way. Good to see all the usual suspects already coming into the studio, into the Coliseum, into the arena, into the stadium, guys. Beatrice Selby, happy Saturday to you as well. To you and your loved ones, Beatrice. And good to see the other guys are joining us on and across social media. Good to have you here with us. We are going to be talking today, guys. We're going to be talking today with Vince Roy Jordan, who is in the diaspora at the moment. Vince Roy is a member of parliament. He, along with the leader of the PNCR, Mr. Aubrey Norton, they are there in the diaspora and doing some good work on the ground from the reports we have been having. We're going to be catching up with Vince Roy Jordan, folks. You all don't mind the accent. You all don't mind the accent. Almost say the accident. Same thing. Both all two. One of the same. Vince Roy is in the diaspora, but I got the accent. Vince Roy is going to be joining us, folks, from the diaspora this morning along. And Kathy Hughes is going to be joining us later on in the program as well. And there's going to be a protest outside of the Russian embassy here in the national capital city of Georgetown, Guyana, and we're going to be following up with Kathy with that and the reason why they're out there making their voice heard in front of the Russian embassy, as I said, in Georgetown. But we're going to be talking with our brother and colleague first, Vince Roy Jordan. And folks say Vince Roy tries to look a lot like me. Is that so? Vincent is my brother from another mother, people, and because of that, because he's a blow child, he tends to look a lot like me. He tends to look a lot like me. We're going to be talking with Vincent in just a little bit, folks. In just a little bit. See, don't rush me. Don't rush me. It's Saturday, and we're going to be easy on the weekend, folks. We are taking it easy today, but good to have each and every one of you guys here with us. What is the weather like where you are? And perhaps you can tell us as well what you guys are going to be having for lunch. And maybe what are you guys doing for the weekend? I'm going to be getting in some exercise, folks, and I want to do some writing over the weekend as well, streamline a couple of things for our programs, FYI, and the podcast Below the Belt, where you guys are tuned in today, and also our evening program in the ring, do some work on those, and as well just get some time for myself, some quietude, maybe watch a movie or so. I already saw something on Netflix early on today. I think I want to go back to and just kind of unwind after a very busy week at our end. But good to see so many of you guys joining us. I see Dawn Barnes has joined us. She says it's rain and snow where she's. Dawn, where are you? Where are you? I want the street and the lot number, but tell us generally where you are. But if you want to tell me the street and the lot number, we ain't got nothing. We just turn up with we play it. Full stop. Stacey Ann Stoll, we see you out there. Stacey Ann and Abiola. Good to see you, Glensis Bingo Born. Millicent Ross. Good to see you guys. I know you haven't come to see me, it's because because Vince Roy stepping by. Y'all fast. Y'all one is with Vince right there. We're in the diaspora. Well, he could be in Trinidad. Glenn says we see you. Happy Saturday. Karen Clark says it's what it's sleeping in NYC in New York City. It's sleeping in New York City. Tell us more, Karen. Tell us more. Brenda Braffett, we see you, and Christina Beckles, CB. Christina Beckles. As a matter of fact, it's Christina B. Beckles, CBB. Christina C. Beckles. Good to see you there. All you wonderful folks joining us from around the world and across the diaspora. Good to have you guys here with us. And I would rather, guys, I'd rather have it no other way. Good to see you folks here. Really happy that you guys going to spend this time with us on this Saturday. As you know, we as soon as we come on, smash that emoji button and share the live show. We ain't got no time to waste. We're getting right down to business. We're going to draft in Vince Roy in just a minute or two into the studio. But guys, I see hundreds of you have already joined the podcast. Share the live stream, smash that emoji button. This is what we're about. Information for you guys, news for you guys, entertainment for you guys, all things for you fantastic, fantastic folks. And those of you who are going to be partnering with us, we're having a slight trouble with PayPal, but that's going to be up and running, all things being equal, in a matter of hours, if not a day or so. So you feel free to use the other platforms to partner with us, whether it's Cash App, whether it's Zelle, whether it's MMG, whether it's MoneyGram or Western Union. Folks, you know the show must go on, and we got our own responsibilities to meet each and every week, each and every month. And we are really happy that you guys are going to help us to do that. So come on board and partner with us. Left for a small piece. That's what we're really saying. Left for a little small piece, folks, so that we can do what we got to do and honor our obligations. We don't know people. We don't like that at all. So we try to meet our obligations in a very, very timely manner. And so we encourage you guys to help us to do precisely that. Chanel Wilson, I see you there, Chanel, who's joining us from BVI Tortola up in the hills. Good to have you, Chanel. And Auntie Sandra Hanover, good to have you as well. I see Lorraine Garnett has joined us. Yep. Good afternoon to you, Christina and Lynette, all the other fantastic people who are joining us. We are so privileged to have you guys. So very privileged to have you guys. And we would have it no other way, people. We would have it no other way. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Really happy to have you here. I see Glenn Sismingo Byrne, Irwin Don Cook, and Patricia Grives Zandy. Cheryl Mondorian is here. And I see all the other fantastic, wonderful, beautiful, uncontroversial, peace loving people like Dion, Ayana Bibi Stanley Ferd, who only learned to call all those names when she was about 21. Y'all don't believe me. I just teasing. Jomo Pras, good to see you, Jomo. Good afternoon to you. And he's joining us from Barbados. Jomo is joining us from Barbados. You know, we got to pull some of you in on these programs to talk to us about what's happening in some of these places where you guys reside in the diaspora, whether it's Barbados, it's Trinidad, it's Texas, it's Antarctica, wherever. We need to draft some of you guys in. Good to have you on the program nonetheless, on the listening end. Loretta, good to see you, Loretta. All you fantastic folks, trust that you guys have been having a great Saturday, and we trust that you guys are going to have a fantastic weekend on the whole. So happy that all of you are here. We rather y'all here than elsewhere. We rather y'all here than elsewhere getting into trouble. We know some of y'all stay. We know how some of y'all stay is bare worries and problems. So we are really happy that you guys are here with us. And as we said, we would have it, we'd have it no other way. And we're going to be checking in with our friend and brother, Vince Roy Jordan. And when I spoke with Vince Roy early on, he wanted to know whether he should bring half his accent or the entire accent with him. What do you guys think? Well, I think I beat you to the punch. That's what I think. I think I have beaten him to the punch. Hula Lafferman Rubens. Good to see you, Hula. Good to see you. I love that name, Lafferman. I have a friend who surname also is Lafferman. Wonderful young woman. Wonderful young woman. And I think we have the MP with us who is in the diaspora. Vincent, my brother, are you there?
Hi, Sherrod. Good morning. Good morning, Sherrod.
Oh, Vincent, Vince Roy, a very good morning to you. How are you doing? How are you doing, Vince Roy?
I'm doing quite well, Sherrod. I'm doing quite well. A bit cold, but it is okay.
A bit cold. You see. Hold up. Folks, let us know if you're hearing Vince Roy Jordan, our member of parliament, clearly. Vince Roy was born just after me, same hospital. That's why he looks like a lot like me. Vince Roy, you said there that you're cool. You're cool. You're cool. Let us know, guys, if you're hearing Vince Roy. Let us know if you're hearing and you're hearing clearly. Vince Roy, you said you're cool. Now, you see, the good book, and I know you understand the good book, says the Lord has set the
uh,
bounds of rehabilitation. Now, how you meet where you there? How you meet where you there? Tell us
I
where
think
you
that
are. No, I was telling you that the
Oh,
Lord, the good book says the Lord has set the bounds of our habitation. How you meet were
uh-huh.
you there? How you meet were you there?
well, well, Sherrod, I could say to you, I flew.
You flew. You flew.
Yes.
Happy to hear. Happy to hear. And where are we picking you up from this morning?
Well, you're picking up me up from Brooklyn, New York.
Fantastic, fantastic. Look, I want sweetie and chocolate when you're coming back. Let's say tell you up front. I just want it up front. I want sweetie and chocolate. So make
I'm
sure you
getting you, bro. Sherrod, Sherrod.
go right ahead.
No, it's breaking a bit, so I didn't get you just now.
Apologies. I was saying I want some chocolate and sweetie when you're coming back.
Oh, oh, sure. You get that.
So, Ventroy, we know that this is not so much of a recreational trip, or as we say R&R, but you're actually on business there, and party business to be more precise. You have accompanied the leader of the PNCR, Mr. Aubrey Norton. So, tell us a little bit about this trip and how it has been going. I've been seeing the photographs. You guys have hit the ground running, meeting with a lot of folks, a lot of groups, and so forth. Tell us a little bit about what's happening.
All right, thanks a lot for giving us the opportunity to say what we're doing here. I must say good morning to all your listeners also. Um, to start with it, I'm accompanying the leader to the US to meet mainly with our party comrades, those across the North American region.
Hmm.
But our first activity was one way with uh, leaders in Atlanta, and we uh, attended a poverty summit, a national poverty summit that the leader was invited to, and
Hmm.
myself. And that was our first activity. What we did in Atlanta basically was to meet with all our party members and the leaders of the groups there. And in Atlanta, we would have recently established a new PNCR group that is a part of the party now. And so it is part of the leaders' vision to expand the People's National Congress across the length and breadth of Guyana and also in the diaspora here, which we called the 11th region, which is a North American region. So since his assumptions and leadership, you would know from in Guyana, we were moving across the country. We've touched practically every region
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
far, and now
Hmm.
it's time to come to the North American region. And one of his vision is to see every region more groups emerging and not necessarily large groups, but groups that will be effective to serve the party's interests. And so the North American region, like Region 3 and Region 4, would have led in this way, where we saw the establishment of new groups in those regions. And so the Georgia area was forced in the North American region to have its own group in the east at Northeast Georgia. So that now strengthens our numbers in Georgia and our ability to service the Guyanese over here in the diaspora. Also, we've moved to Maryland, we've moved to Washington. We will be going to Jersey very soon. And presently, we're in New York, and we have a number of groups here in Brooklyn and Queens. And so, night after night, if you look at the social media pages, you will see we're in a different group, we're in a different area, and we're meeting with the thousands of Guyanese who are over here, and particularly those that support us in the People's National Congress from the diaspora. Um,
Fantastic,
the leader
fantastic.
also, yes, go ahead.
No, I was just listening to what you were saying. I'm thinking that is a lot of work you guys are putting in on the ground. A lot of work. Fantastic. Go right ahead, Vince Roy.
Yeah, the leader also saw it fit with his advisors during this visit to ensure that he visit some key stakeholders in the United States, particularly those at the Department of State. And you would have seen from our social media page of the People's National Congress Reform that the leader met with the director of Caribbean Affairs at the State Department. He met with USAID. He met with also the acting director of Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights, and Labor. He also met with the legislative director for the senator, Mr. Benjamin Cardin,
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
also is the deputy chair of foreign relations for that committee at the State Department. So the leader ensured that he not only met with those Guyanese over here, but he also met with those who are responsible for the affairs of this country and by extension overseeing some amount of uh, guidance and leadership through the U.S. Embassy in Guyana. So that was basically part of our mission, and we intend to, for the next few days, meet with a number of other groups so as to get the message of new leadership across to the entire North American region.
Fantastic. And I know that elections are about numbers and also about money. Being out there and touching base with the grassroots, even in the diaspora, is very important because I know personally, Vincent, as you do, people take this civic duty of voting so importantly, especially as Guyanese. They come back
Yeah,
home just to vote.
that's right. Yes.
So the work that you
Yeah.
guys are doing out there is instrumental for us retaking office in 2025 and beyond that. And we know that this trip really and truly has been making waves. We've seen Mr. Norton's comments making the headlines back home here, where he had discussed issues like the mission of Mr. Norton being to repair the party currently, um,
Image.
the party's image, and also talking there about setting the outlining in a fuller way the conditions for shared governance.
Right. Right. Yeah. So the leader during his visit here, um, what he is mainly set out to do is to bring those in diaspora up to date with what is happening in Guyana, both politically and all our other domestic affairs, and that of the party.
Hmm.
And while he's doing that, he's also laying out his vision for Guyana. As you know, he is leader now, and of course, in time to come, uh, at his decision or the decision of the party, rather, sorry, we will know that whether he will serve as our presidential candidate, and you will know he would want to put forward what he so desires for Guyana and the betterment for the people of Guyana. And so he has been pointing out in a few areas, some of the things that he would love to see happening in Guyana, and with the intention of him holding office, uh, what he plans to do so as to ensure that Guyanese move to a better living standard back home.
Yep, indeed. uh Eventually you guys are on the ground, you're talking to thousands of people there, meeting and greeting, updating folks, letting people know what the vision of Mr. Norton is, the new direction of the PNCR and all that. What has been the reception like in the diaspora? And even now as I'm talking to you, I'm seeing lots of people saying, we want to see y'all where we are. This is in the diaspora. What is the reception
Well,
been like?
I can tell you, Sherrod, the reception, it is overwhelming, it's outstanding. Because just for example, last evening we had an activity at in Brooklyn here, and it was to mark a celebration basically of the leader sent into the office of leader of the party.
Hmm.
And I can tell you, the Legacy Loft where we were last night, it was packed to capacity. Um, those who would have planned it also were left astonished to see hundreds of Guyanese. I think Rickford Borg put it by numbers, but I could not really determine the numbers because it was a large crowd.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
Close to 500, I think, or more than 500, Rickford said. But that is to show the support that we're getting here in the diaspora. And every group that we go to, it is the same turnout. It is this, the numbers are increasing from years back. The leader has been received with open arms. You know, the people love the energy that he brings to the leadership. The people love his vision. The people understand that he is someone that mirrors that of Lyndon Forbes Sampson, born with his principles and his ideologies. And so, especially the young here in the diaspora, they really they catch the vision of the leader, and so they're prepared to work and support him, and also ensuring that we not only um, carry this party, but we return to government in the nearest possible time.
Yep, yep, yep. And you guys have been in the course of talking with the folks on the ground there in the diaspora. Um, what specific concerns have they perhaps raised about what's happening back home? And we know there are a lot of people don't like what's happening. They don't like the economic doldrums we're in. They don't like the what is the firings of people perceived to
Mm-hmm.
be supporters of the PNCR from the public service. They don't like the inequitable way in which there's been a distribution of wealth. The way as though the PUP is behaving as though they won big like Mia Motley in Barbados when it's a one seat
Oh yeah.
majority.
Hmm.
What are some of the concerns you might have been hearing there, Vince Roy?
Well, sure, you touch a few, but I must highlight to you um, two of the soaring points that the people here in the diaspora have mentioned. They spoke about the crime situation in Guyana.
Hmm.
And whilst talking with them, I was very keen to highlight to them that the public security minister and the Guyana police force is oftentimes putting on record in Guyana that crime is under control. They state it in the National Assembly, they state it on their public platforms and PR information. But even those in the diaspora here, they're saying, look, we are afraid to return because of the crime, the significant increase in crime wave since the PPP took office, of course, installed in 2020. So they're very much worried about the families that are left behind and the crime rate that is, spiraling out of control. Young people being killed on the street. One man alluded to me the fact that he is scared because one young man, I'm trying to remember his name at the moment, but this young electrician guy that was gunned down in Georgetown, I'm trying to get the name back, but I'll get it before the program is ended. And the man said those are some of the things that make them scared to return to Guyana. Then you find they also speak about the healthcare services and the system that we have, which is very poor. And so they said if they're to return to Guyana to live, we must have proper healthcare services. And then, of course, they would have mentioned that we in Guyana manage, the government rather, manage the COVID-19 situation very, very, very poor. And so those are some of the concerns apart from the economic situation that the Guyanese here in the diaspora would have spoken about. And they're very much worried about the tension that is rising in Guyana, where we recognize that we can explode at any time
Yeah.
because Guyanese are being forced to act beyond normal with what the government is doing. The dismissals of public servants, the unfair way in which they distribute and allocate resources from central government. Those are some of the things that those here in the diaspora they're seeing. And we saw it in Guyana, and we're making mention of it at every possible occasion.
Hmm. Hmm.
And still, the Guyanese government, which is the insult, continues to say that they have been equitably distributing the resources. And the leader would have
Laughable.
been very keen to highlight to everywhere we went the vast disparity in which they allocate resources in the RDCs, in which they allocate resources in the NDCs and the various municipalities across the country. And so people can see that. but yet the PPP cannot see it, you know. And so there are a number of concerns for this citizens here in the diaspora, and it is very frightening to know um, the direction that we're heading into, and it actually scares our own people to return to Guyana.
Yep,
So
yep.
I believe that we really need to change to us ensure that our people can return. And the thing about it is that a number of persons here, they want to return with business ideas and new entrepreneurship skills and opportunities for our young people in Guyana, but they will not do so under the PPP administration. Some of them would have mentioned to me also, and the leader, that they would have already, they were prepared to return home in 2016, 2017, 2020, 2019, those years. Some of them would have started businesses, but they pull out simply because the PPP returned to government. And
Mhm.
I believe that once that is the situation, PPP is no good for Guyana.
Yep, they're absolutely right. And Ventura, just yesterday I was talking with a young woman out of Brooklyn too, and she has been expressing the same thoughts of going overseas, qualifying herself in social work with a bachelor's degree in social work, going on to do a master's in social work. And I always find it strange in a sense that Guyanese just want to come back home and see their country develop. And that's what she has been saying. She wants to come back and play a part. But it's friends and family. That's what we're saying. It's friends and families. Only some people could get by.
That's right. That's right. And I must mention to you also the corruption. Those here in the diaspora, they're very keen in paying attention to the level of corruption, and you know they recognize what the government. Well, let me back up a bit for the fact that our very own vice president is corrupt, um, and those of his cabinet and even those at the regional level, it will of course be evident to those in the diaspora. And so the levels of corruption is one that really concerns the people here. Um, Also the drugs, we know since the people return, we had some of the largest drug busts in the history of our country, Sherrod. And so it is a situation that is very worrying and frightening. And those are some of the areas that really concerns the people here in the diaspora. And so their view that is shared is that we must return to some amount of normalcy and civility and decency uh, in the near future. And the only way we can get back to that and accountability and those things is ensuring that the PPP is out of office. And so that is why they would have poured in the numbers that they came, not only to support the People's National Congress reform and its leadership, but to ensure that when the next election comes, they can even return home, cast their vote, support their family in Guyana, and ensure that the coalition returns to government, and also that the family will be governed by a proper government.
Well, Vincent, on that note, let me say this, my brother. I don't want y'all stay too long because since y'all gone, you know, gas price gone up, flour price gone up, and them boys in the rice industry protesting. So I begging you, don't stay too long.
But well, I saw the increase in gas price, and then I saw the protest in Blackbush, I think it was. And Sharon,
Go right ahead.
if you can remember, I think it was um, the second budget
Hmm.
that we mentioned. Somebody mentioned, I think it was the shadow minister of agriculture, Mr. Ramjitan, mentioned that we will have troubles with the paddy price very soon.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
third budget there, I mentioned in my presentation that fertilizer price would have tripled in the market. You understand? And so I knew that a point was going to come when people would be at a position where they're gonna have to take the necessary steps to ensure that the government doesn't continue this nonsense. And I knew at one point the price would fall because all the promises that they promised them during the campaign about what they're gonna do for the rice sector, they have failed in that. They have failed significantly, you know.
But
So
I think I but I think
the situation
go ahead, Troy.
the situation is a very serious one, and I believe that the the rice farmers are going to be much more severely affected in days to come, well, months to come. This is just the beginning of it because the PPP cannot and will not, as a matter of fact, be able to manage the price for fertilizer. They will not be, and we already see the increase in fuel and such. So immediately there we know that there will be it will be a higher cost to actually um, produce the paddy and rice that we normally produce, and then of course with a lower milling price or sale value, it will be trouble for the rice farmers.
Indeed, indeed. I know those folks who are listening to us who may have just joined us. Welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. We're talking with Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan. Vince Roy is the also the vice chair, I believe, of the PNCR. Vince Roy, am I getting your title right?
Yes, sir, you're getting
Vice
it
chair
right.
of the PNCR, and we're talking about the overtures that the PNCR is making currently to the diaspora. Vince Roy is in the diaspora with the leader of the PNCR, Mr. Aubrey Norton, attending lots and lots of meetings, and again, the response has just been tremendous. And as I was telling Vince Roy a second ago, don't stay too long because things look like they could escalate before you guys come back. And Vince Roy, I want to play a little bit about what one rice farmer said quite recently there, and just to give an indication of how dire things are, and people don't got time with who we voted for, or who you think we vote for now. The madness. People want action. People want their voices to be heard. They want their needs to be met. Take a listen to this, Vince Roy.
Yes, sir.
Apologies. Just give me 1 second. Yep. Folks, stay with us. We want to bring this up for you. People want action. People just want plain old talk. They want action. 1 second. Let's get the audio for you. I think we have it now.
This morning here, the farmers in Blackbush, the rice farmers are facing a terrible situation with this paddy price. We buy all things at a higher cost, and right now they are dropping the price. And I feel the agriculture minister and Mr. Siraj are not performing and facing, see what farmers are going through right now. And if we give them today more, and if the president and the agriculture will not be here, we will invite Mr. Norton, the opposition leader, to come and represent us in Blackbush. Because this is too much now. Everybody look like they are sleeping right now. Or they're fighting to come and assist the rice farmer. If this price remains this, we can't go back to the field. Everything finished.
Pim Pim. MP. Pim
Sharon,
Pim.
I'll,
This one
I
more
will make
people.
one comment.
This one more people. Great ahead, sir.
I will make one comment. You know that we would have we mentioned many times from the opposition benches that the government is incompetent in all that it does.
Hmm.
This statement that you just played, or the recording that you just played, it is a public pronouncement from an ordinary citizen
Yep. Yep.
that clearly states the gross incompetence of the Guyanese government.
Hmm.
That's simple as it is. Because what they're saying, what is the man is saying that they look as though they're sleeping. He said that Kumar Siraj and the minister ain't doing nothing. And what is very important to note in his statement is that if you give them today more
Hmm.
and they can perform or they can wake up and do what they're supposed to do. So it clearly means that they're not doing what they're going to seek or be not representation. It means that he understands and he knows that if he seeks or be not, he can represent right here.
Ventura, you broke up just a little bit at the end there. Apologies, listeners.
Sorry. Yes, I'm saying that because he knows that the present administration is not doing what they're supposed to do and they're sleeping, he is looking to Aubrey Norton and, of course, the his leadership through coalition want them. And so I'm said that he knows for sure Bobby Norton can really represent their interest, and the people feel them significantly in that area.
Yep, yep, yep. People want action. People want action, and it has been said that the voters tend to hold the APNU AFC coalition (PNC) in a higher at a higher level than they do the PPP, and it's time that change. If people are working, people and as the man said, if they're sleeping. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's not what you do for me last year or the
Exactly.
year before. It's what's happening now. And people are hurting in this country, Vince Roy. They are hurting economically.
Yes, yes. And I think, Sherrod, one of the things that Guyanese, um, they're fully recognized now that it is not only the loud shouts and nice promises that makes a good government. It is the effective work to ensure that those manifesto promises and the loud, shouts on the campaign trail becomes a reality. And
Yes.
one thing we would have done during our time in government is that we would have ensured that what we promise, we put, if not the full thing into reality, we ensure that we started. So take, for example, we would have ensured, Sherrod, that public servants receive increasing their wages and salaries.
Mm-hmm.
We not
Mm-hmm.
only give them an increase, but we give them a significant amount of increase. With I think it's over 70 or 77% that we give. We ensured under the coalition that rice or paddy production increase across all the rice producing regions, especially in Region 5. We ensure that they had higher prices for paddy. And we ensure that fertilizer was subsidized, and they had the ability to farm and make a profit after reaping their produces. So Sharon, I'm saying that we would have done a significant lot in our government. And I do believe that once we return to government, or when we return to government, we
Amen.
can continue on the path of development. I can continue to talk about education. I can continue to talk about the 5Ds program. I can continue to talk about infrastructure. When you look at the level of infrastructure across the country that we did, the quality, um, sure, it's second to none. The PVP started to build roads, and in Linden, a road was built, and 2 days after it caved in, and the other part fall into the drain and all these nonsense. I mean, it's not the amount of roads that you build, but the quality of roads that you build.
Yep. 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 Yep.
We saw transform police force in less than 2 years. We had a police force of discipline,
Yep.
integrity,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you know,
Yep. Vince Roy.
we can continue to mention those.
Yep. Vince Roy, I don't like opposition. I don't like the feel of it. Right? I ain't like it. I tried it and
No,
I
I
ain't
mean,
like it. But you know what it has allowed people to see? You know what it has allowed people to see? It has allowed a comparison. What transpired
right.
from 2015 to 2000 to 2020, and what is transpiring now and what went on before. As you rightfully said, can you imagine for 5 years, not a tear gas and fire, not a rubber bullet. Soon as them boy come out,
Oh boy.
come back, water cannon come back, political
Mm-hmm,
prosecution come back. People frightened for talking in the phone because they feel them boys listening, right? People who visit
yeah.
this country, who come home, can't wait to head back to where they come from because they say there's a darkness over this country. Everything tense, 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 right? It's friends and family,
Mm-hmm,
it's corruption, it's run-ins, you name it. You name it. But it has allowed us to see the comparison. It has allowed us to see the nastiness of the PPP, even in the National Assembly at that level. Right? Look at the people who made the most noise in the National Assembly in the last 5 years. It's always the PPP walking out, disrupting. And then
mm-hmm,
you got these dirty mouth people like Nigel Darmalal and the others, Dr. Dildo, the host of the crazy people. It's a whole set of crazy people. But you know what? I'm happy that you guys are putting in the work in the diaspora. We're going to continue to put in the work as we have been doing as a coalition on the ground here as well. And we're going to see the fruits of our reward because God don't like ugly. It's weekend and we're heading to Sunday. And start preaching now. God don't like ugly. That's right. He don't like ugly.
yeah. Before I go, Sharon, or before you let me go, rather, one thing I must say to you is that the People's National Congress Reform has always been a grassroots party.
Mm-hmm.
History would tell us that Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum was a man who walked the entire Guyana. He was a man who um, ensured that when he go to communities or whichever region, he would meet with any person that wishes to meet with him. And he was concerned about the welfare of Guyanese. And when I put all that together, I see the same qualities in our now leader, Mr. Aubrey Norton. Of course, for fact, he would have worked for a number of years with Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum,
Mm-hmm.
and so he knows and understands the workings of the party from those days.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what he's trying to do right now is simply return the party to that level so that we can at any time call and mobilize our people, and we will have that unified support. And once we can do that on the ground, Sherrod, I tell you, as he would all often say, we will have victory in the elections.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Plus. Vincent there. Folks, stay with us. Sometimes it's too much technology. Sometimes that affects us or never see company. That's the other side of it. We're going to allow Vince Roy to come back in just a second and wrap up. Because these guys are busy on the ground, folks, in the diaspora. You hear meetings. Vince Roy said they have been attending and meeting thousands of Guyanese across the length from Atlanta to Brooklyn, New York, and heading to New Jersey shortly. We're going to try to get Vince Roy back in and see what happens there. Guys, apologies there. Apologies there. And we're waiting for Vince Roy to come back in. I think we have him. 1 second, Vince Roy. 1 second, guys. Sometimes it's too much technology. Welcome back, Vince Roy. Apologies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go right ahead. You were wrapping up.
Yeah, yeah, So I was telling you that in Aubrey Norton lies those qualities that Barnum would have had working in our party prior to his death. And so I do believe that once we can continue in this vein that we started, and we can continue to mobilize, educate our people, and really have them unified on the ground, that we're heading in the right direction, and the evident possibility and actual reality of the next election will be the coalition returning to government.
Fantastic. Uh, Vince Roy, that is the kind of future that we all want. And a little while ago, I made some notes. I was at a meeting with Mr. Norton, and we all wish him the very best because his success is our success as well. You guys in the PNCR, what is the word? Are very fond of Mr. Norton. You respect him as your leader and elected him to be a leader. And the success of Mr. Norton runs across the entire coalition because we know together we got to do what we got to do, and um, get these guys out of office. Get these guys out of office. But I was coming back to something I heard him say a couple of months ago in a meeting with him. He said that the role of political organization has to be to educate, to agitate, and to mobilize. And here you're talking about
Yeah,
these many months later, he has stayed true to those core values to educate, agitate,
right.
and mobilize.
Yes,
And Vince Roy,
yes.
we wish you guys out there in the diaspora currently every success. Give our love, give our respect to the other folks that you guys are going to touch base with there, and let them know that they're thinking of us and we're thinking of them as well. And Vince Roy, I know you said that it is cold, but don't come back to us too crisp. So ensure that you bundle up.
Yes, my brother, I will.
All right, Vince Roy. Have a great time, sir. And thanks for joining
You
us.
too, sir.
Great.
Bless you.
Folks, the one and only Vince Roy Jordan. He's my brother from another mother, my twin. as it were. Sometimes we standing up side by side, and people know who they're watching. Folks, good to have each and every one of you. We're going to turn our attention now, folks, to a protest activity supposed to be happening by the Russian embassy here in Downtown, Georgetown, the national capital city, where we broadcast our international podcast from the national capital city of Georgetown. Is honored to have us broadcasting our international podcast. And so we're going to join MP Kathy Hughes, who is our liaison out there today, and who is going to bring us some of the goings on. And I trust that event has started, and we're going to join Kathy in just a second. Bear with us, guys, as we find our bearings to pull Kathy into the studio virtually. Bear with us as we find our bearings. And again, this protest, as you know, folks, you don't have to be affected in any huge way, but you are affected to the point where the poet Don John says, "Every man's death diminishes me," and we're seeing more and more how what happens in this far-flung area of the world affects each and every one of us. Prices are going up. Some of it is mismanagement by the administration locally, but some of it is this war touching all of us. And we're joined today by Kathy Hughes. Apologies there, folks, who is out there in front of the Russian embassy in Georgetown as part of this protest. Stop the Ukraine war. And God knows we needed to come to an end. Kathy, a very good day. Welcome.
Thank you, Shara. Thank you very much.
How are things going there? We know that there are folks assembling, as we said, in front of the Russian embassy, and the protest is against this war in the Ukraine, with Russia being the country that initiated this horrific war. Kathy, give us an overview of the issue, and perhaps tell us what's happening where you are.
Well, Shara, we have about 20 folks that are here with flags and tickets. Really, the focus is on ending the war. The focus is that we want peace in the world. We know that the effects of what's happening in Ukraine has effects on all our countries. We've heard and seen the increase in oil prices that is now affecting everywhere. We have seen women and children having to pick up and walk with a little bag, their life now in a little haversack. And more than 2 million people have fled Ukraine in the last week or so. And so, what we are standing for is really to appeal for peace in the world, for diplomacy to work, for there always to be an opportunity for offending parties to be able to meet, sit, and talk, because this is not just about two countries, but a world. When we have situations where people talk about, the safety of the nuclear weapons, and and you have to be worried about the impact it can have on everyone. But Sherrod, I would like to pass you on to Dennis Atwell. Dennis Atwell is the one who made the flags and felt very strongly about this. So, Dennis, would you say a few words to Sherrod?
Oh, good evening, Sarah, and good evening to your audience.
Dennis, a very good day to you.
The idea
Talk to
came
us.
out when I was looking. I'm a person that look at the news, CGTN, CNN, and all over. So that when you look and you see pregnant women being bombed out, little children screaming for their lives, and people have to flee their homes for another country, it makes you be concerned. And this is not the norm. This is not how a civilized society operates. So that the idea is to call on the Russian government and the Russian president to stop this war, withdraw his forces from Ukraine, and allow Russia itself to rejoin the nations of peace-loving people. This is not the era of the World War II and World War I. This is an era of peace. You understand? But Today, Ukraine. Tomorrow, Taiwan. The other day, Hong Kong. The next day, Kashmir. The next day, Guyana and Venezuela.
Hmm.
We don't want that situation in the world today. Okay? Thank you very much.
Correct, correct, correct. Um,
Sharon,
yes,
Sharon,
Kathy.
I also have close with me Kevin Ramjitan and also David Patterson, and I'm going to
Fantastic.
ask them to say a few words to you.
Fantastic. Go right ahead, Kathy.
Hi, Jared.
Kamraj, a very good afternoon. What's happening there where you are? And
No,
what
well,
took
we
you
are
in this
doing a
protest mode?
small protest to show that we are against the war in Ukraine, the invasion, and the pain and suffering that children and women especially suffering from, that we should be brought to a halt. Look, the consciences of the world, everybody demand that we make some statement against the war. War is never a solution. It will bring more problems, and right now, as we see, it is bringing problems that are stretching right into Guyana, affecting prices in the world, so many things.
Hmm.
And especially third world countries are going to suffer tremendously whenever you have wars in Europe. So we are asking that there be diplomacy to stop this thing. Otherwise, the entire world will be enveloped in massive conflict and confrontation and tremendous problems that will affect livelihoods and lives. So that's my little statement to you.
Yep, yep. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I
We
heard you
have
have
David
David close
now.
by. Yep.
Hi, good afternoon, Carrot. How
Good
are you?
afternoon, David.
How are you? How
Talk
are
to
you?
us. Talk to us, sir.
No, but we're just here lending our support in the side of democracy. I mean, we prefer democracy, not war. I mean, all of these matters everybody. I mean, we're not taking a side. Everyone has their opinion. However, war and violence is the last resort. So we're hoping that that the two sides can come together in the world and it can have a discussion, civilized discussion to resolve this issue. It tremendously impacts us in Guyana and the rest of the world, you know. I mean, and the longer it continues, the harsher the conditions get, the more and more rigid persons will become. And we are trying to ensure that it doesn't escalate. So we're just doing our best to send a message to those who are listening that democracy is always better than war.
Great, great, great. Thank you, David.
Sharon,
Kathy.
I have two ladies that joined this activity. As you know, it was only going to be for an hour, but I'm going to ask them, what made them come out here this morning. Hi, Sharon. Esther here.
Hi,
Esther
Esther.
speaking.
Talk
Yeah.
to us.
Sharon, every time I go on the Facebook, it's to see the sadness of the people them in UK, in the country, how pregnant mothers dying out, children screaming. And I feel it because, I'm a mother also. And I need this thing to stop. So I will start to the end with the protest that we must stop the crime. Thank
Hmm.
you.
Hmm. Thank you, Esther.
Today is just the beginning of great things to come. It means if I have to make a huge sacrifice, giving up all everything for myself, I will make that sacrifice and stand with the people of Ukraine. I applaud the effort of President Zelensky, and if he can hear this here, I'm saying to President Zelensky that we are 100% behind you, and we will be with you to the end.
Thank
Okay,
you, very
that
Dennis.
voice, of course, was Dennis as well. And I think that's about it from us.
Thank you very, very much, Kathy. Thank you. And sometimes folks say this issue doesn't concern us. But Kathy, I was saying as you came on that yes, this is thousands of miles away, but look how it's in fact it's impacting oil prices. It's impacting flour prices, and really and truly, our late great national poet said it best. All are involved and all are consumed. That's the nature of a global village.
Very true, Sharon. Very, very true. And we know that heard yesterday the price of flour has gone up. A lot of wheat comes from that region. We know a lot of oil comes from Russia. The oil price has gone up. We've seen it go up at our pumps locally. So there's no question as to the impact it has. The world is interconnected and it is a global village, as they always say. So we can't sit and say it doesn't involve me. Um, that's the reality.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Kathy, for coming through with this update for us. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Take care.
Good work on the ground there. Thanks very much, Kathy.
Thanks. Thanks.
Folks, that's our time today. That's our time. Good to have so many of you here with us, guys. Smash that emoji button before you go and share the podcast. That's our mantra here. Share the podcast. Smash the emoji. Who vex lose? Who vex? Thanks for joining our international podcast, guys. We gotta keep these programs going to keep you informed, and we encourage you guys to come on board with us and partner. Give me a little money so we can keep the programs going, guys. Share the live stream. Smash that emoji button. We're available via Cash App, guys. Our Cash App handle is the $ in the ring 592. Our PayPal giving us some trouble. We're trying to work that out. The technical guys are on that, but we're still available via Zelle. The Zelle and the PayPal is one email address, in the ring 592 at gmail.com. In the ring 592gmail.com. We're available via MMG. That's the MMG, the GTNT Cash App. 627-6963 is our number there. 627-6963. That's our number there. That being said, guys, we're available also via Western Union and via MoneyGram. And that's that. Come on board and partner with us and help us to keep us doing what we're doing. We're so grateful for those of you who've done so, and those of you who've done so in the past. Come back and help us, folks. Partner with us so we can keep growing from strength to strength and expand what we're doing. Good to have each and every one of you, folks. We're aiming for our own building. We're aiming for our own building, folks. We're aiming for our own building, our own place for throwback, throughout, and do this work in an even more professional way for you guys. You guys deserve nothing but the best, and that's our vision. That is what we are aiming for. Nothing's going to stop us. Nothing's going to stop us by the grace of God. Thank you for your time, folks. We're sending love your way this weekend. Over the weekend, we always say, guys, take some time for yourself, time for family. Be gentle with yourself. Self-care is important. Mental health is real. Take it easy. Don't take no stress from nobody. Don't take no stress from the spouse. Don't take no stress from the side chick. Don't take no stress from the front chick or any chicks. Don't take no stress. Be easy. Take it easy on yourself, folks. Be gentle with yourselves over this weekend. Take some time for you. That's our time. We're going to see you back tomorrow. Same time, same place, folks. Thanks for joining our international podcast. Below the belt. Who vex lose? Who vex? That's what we say. That's what we say. That's our time today, folks. That's our time. Stay safe. Stay safe now.